What's up, guys? So this is going to be a video on how to reseal your JZX90, JZS147, the Soarer, anything that has a JZ and a hydro pump. So I might not end up completely rebuilding this with new bearings and everything because it all feels really good, but I do have everything. And what needs to happen is I need to seal everything up. So this is going to be the how-to reseal your hydro pump. Alright guys, so the first thing you guys can see is this is the pump assembly. You've got, this is your crossover pump that goes to the upper neck. This has to come out. You need to replace both of these O-rings here. But to get this out, you're going to need to use, I brought all the pliers I own here, so probably going to have to get a little, these O-rings get pretty rowdy. When they get dry, they just don't want to come apart. That and corrosion.
There you go.
Yeah.
Same day service.
Can be a real pain. So make sure that you, basically Dad hit it with a little bit of brake clean, and what that can do is lubricate things. Brake clean can actually get down into some of these tight spaces a little bit better than like penetrating oil, because it's such a thin thing, fluid. All right, so that's going to be the beginning here. That's going to be the first step. The next step is going to be taking the front of the water pump housing apart. I'm making a mess here with the...
You got a 14 on you.
So this is here removing the back section of the water pump off of the rest of the hydraulics. Make sure you keep up their bolts because kind of important. Yeah, that's fine. That, in all technicality, should separate the back of the pump.
Nice. That's good.
Guys got it.
Be a dowel pin, maybe.
All right, so that's off. This almost looks
It's
like
a
this.
22R.
So this is a standard pump here. They don't look very different. They're a little different, or are they? They're not different at all. So this is a standard 2J GTE non-hydro pump. The back.
This is the difference, the thickness.
Yeah, the thickness is the difference.
More water.
Obviously the impeller is in a different place on this one. So non-hydro, hydro pump. But the bolt pattern and everything is the same.
Yeah, that all look the same. So.
All right, so this comes
I'll
off.
get you the new impeller.
So then when you look in here, the reason I'm really going after this is basically because of this. This is plastic. You want to get rid of this. I'm going to need a 12 millimeter. So this, we got a new impeller. Luckily, we were able to get these. I'm going to put a list of the parts, and I will also insert a picture of the exploded diagram here so that you guys can screenshot it and you'll have all the parts and the part numbers. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this,
I'll get you ready.
start getting this gasket off of here. Yeah, Dad's going to get a razor blade here. I didn't know I had one either. Yeah, so you want to get all this old gasket and everything off because you are going to be using a new one. You probably could glue it if you were in a bad spot, but I just don't know if I would trust it with as much as you have to take apart. Probably want to, you know, do your best to get all the gaskets from Toyota if you can still get them. So we'll finish cleaning that up here in a minute.
I'm gonna clean this up.
Next thing you're going to want to do is get the impeller off. So you're probably going to need an impact for this, just so that you could probably do it, but holding this is not going to be so much fun. And that's not so much fun even with that. So I'm going to try a larger rag here.
And it's left-hand thread.
You know, I don't know. It could be.
It might be left hand, so just try knocking it the other way a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Since we do have a new pulley, I don't know why I'm holding it with my hand when I could just hold it with these big pliers. We're going to try this. Dad just mentioned it could be left-hand thread. It is left-hand thread. Okay, so you guys need to tighten. This needs to be tightened. You guys are learning with me here. This is left-hand thread, so you need to tighten, you know, tighten it, go to the right to loosen this nut up. It is backwards to the normal thread, so don't screw this nut up. You won't be able to get another one. So here's this. Wow, that's interesting. That, I'm gonna need a couple, so that spins freely. That's interesting that it doesn't have splines or anything, which is kind of a...
hold this on one side and I'll do this on the other side. Ooh, it's on there good. Boy.
Yeah, so it's kind of press fit a little bit, but... Alright, so... It looks pretty good, but now this is the weird seal here, and I'm not really sure how this thing works.
It's plastic. The thing that looks like a spring, it's plastic. So, you know what I have? I have you know, a pulley tool.
Yeah, that would probably be the best thing.
And hit against it. If we can't get it, let's just try prying. It doesn't just come out. What does the new seal look like? Did you grab it?
No, this looks like... I think we might need to use a pulley puller. All right, guys, we need to get more tools.
14s, right?
Okay, so we've decided to go a little bit different route. We're gonna take the actual pump assembly off of the back plate carefully. And what that's gonna do is allow us to actually drive the seal out the other direction.
Hopefully.
I wonder if this seal is probably holding it, so I just need to tap down on
That's
it.
what I was saying. I'll hold this. Sounds different.
Doesn't seem like it's coming out.
Okay.
So it definitely is. That's loose, but I think that we need to use a pulley puller on this and just pop it out of there. Either that or we need to get something under there and then pop it up. But I'm sure it's pressed onto here as well, because that's going to seal the water from the power
rubber.
steering.
I think that's just rubber.
I mean, this is
Looking
metal
at
here
the
and
new
this is
seal,
here.
it's just rubber on the inside. Look. There. Now we're solid against this. There you go. So now we have to figure out
All right, so what we found, guys, once you flip it over, there's more than one seal in here, and this one's hard as a rock right here, which is another seal that we have. But this one right here is what actually is going to keep the power steering fluid separated along with this weird contraption here. This is what seals your water pump here. So I don't even know how the...
Well, I think when we take out this seal, we'll be able to see where we can push out the other seal. By looking at this, look. See?
Yeah, so that's the back of that seal. And this one right here.
Can I take this out of this package?
Yeah.
I want to see how it fits on here. Was that pressed on there? That's what I want to know.
Look on here.
Well, let me see something.
Yes, this is pressed into there. So we're going to need to...
But it's just rubbery. And then this is a spring seal, look.
Yeah, so that must put constant pressure on everything. So we need to
Turn that over one more time.
This is still a spring, but the spring is gone. So I wonder if that's why it was leaking. The spring is completely...
Yeah, it's not springy.
It's totally not sprung anymore. So that would be my bet. That probably is why this thing was leaking, because...
I wonder.
See this thing rattling around here, guys? Like, this shouldn't be like this. This one here springs.
Okay, so my question is, do we press this on here?
No, this needs to go on, then this will get pressed on as well. So it's going to be a process here. I think what we'll probably do, the shaft on the actual pump is a little bit, like, nasty from... I wonder if that's where it was leaking. Look, you can see it. You can see where it was leaking. So right there. And then it had a spot down. That was the spot. That's why it was leaking every once in a while. Look, there's part of the seal right there. That's why it leaked, right there.
The seal was bad.
The seal is...
That's what I'm seeing on there. Can you get a close-up of that?
All right, guys, so what I just found, why I had an intermittent water leak on this thing, I think, is because of, there's a spot on this seal here, or part of the seal on the shaft, in here. And then there's a spot right there as well. So, we're gonna...
see that shiny spot. Yeah.
See the shiny spot, and then there's a nasty spot there?
That's rubber?
I think, yes, it's a rubber of some sort.
Right,
I think part of this seal is wrecked, and then I think also that the seal where it rode here, you can see that there's... I just hope that the shaft is in okay shape still. I think that it is. It seems to me like the shaft is okay, which I was worried about that it had pitting. But I think the shaft's okay. We're just going to need to polish it a little bit with some, like... Steel wool or a Scotch-Brite pad or something, because that is going to be a steel shaft. Now, I think this is kind of the root here of a lot of my problems. I'm going to try knocking the seal out from this side down this direction, or I might just try to pry it out. But this is a kind of a crucial sealing area, so we got to be very careful on what you pry on here. And you guys see this dowel right here. This is very important, I think, to align something in the pump. I don't know if it's just... I don't know what it aligns, but there's like a back plate in there that is going to be very important that it's aligned correctly. Yeah, so there's this dowel goes down through here, and it must seal up. Yeah, so that goes all the way through there. I'm going to put that back in this side. I think it's going to be a lot easier, but we've got an O-ring here and then an O-ring here. Both are going to be replaced. I don't think I'm going to touch anything else because the hydraulic side of this pump wasn't leaking. So I'm going to work with this because this is what was leaking, and we've now disrupted this. So this seal is bad here. This seal it's not working like it's supposed to. You guys can see. The other one is sprung. There's a constant pressure here. So the spring in here must have collapsed. So again, we're going to work on getting this out. Hopefully it just pops right out. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this seal was definitely leaking. You can see there's like remnants of a little bit of like oil mixing with some coolant, because the coolant is actually, the back of this is what's sealing the coolant from the power steering type fluid. So the weep hole for the water is here, and I'm pretty sure that that was my leak, guys. Almost positive that this was going to be my leak. As much as I think there are other things that are going wrong, I think this was more than likely the problem. Alright guys, well, never mind. I am going to use this socket Alright. That is out, and it was definitely leaking. It was definitely leaking down in there, guys. This is good news because honestly, we were scratching our heads. But look here. So this guy is supposed to be one piece, and it came out in pieces. There's supposed to be a spring here, and it's still a little springy, but something's not right.
You can compare it with this.
Yeah, so here is this guy, and you can see this. Look how nice that works. This is the new seal that goes down in there. Now, this one came out in pieces. It's junk. Throw it in the trash. This is your new seal from Toyota. You need to buy these parts from Toyota. I don't even know if anybody else would offer them. But now, this is your chance, guys, to clean this stuff up spotless. That's what you want to do. Down in here is all nasty. There is leaky coolant stuff.
This turns.
Yes, that should turn.
So this pin held this
in place.
So look.
So that cleaned up nice. Look how much nicer that looks, guys. So there's no more junk and leftover seal bits on there. So the next thing we're going to do is clean this up. This piece right here, the backing plate to everything. I am not going to worry too much about cleaning up or replacing any seals that I didn't disrupt in the main pump for the hydraulic part. So this right here needs to get cleaned really good, and then this right here needs to get cleaned really good. As much as I thought this was leaking, I don't think that was our problem.
See, now you can see that seal.
Yep, so here, this seal, it's very hard. It needs to be replaced, and then there's a little O-ring right here also that needs to be replaced because it's flat as a pancake. We're gonna leave those in there just for now, just to make sure that we match them up good. I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to go clean this. You guys know how to clean parts. So I'm going to clean up some parts. Dad's going to tackle one. I'm going to tackle the other. And I'll get back to you in just a second.
A few moments later.
All right, so we got everything cleaned up. Cleaned up here. Cleaned off here. Ready to go back together. Yep. But first what we're going to do is we've got this gasket, which there is a rubber side. And which side to go to the rubber. There's like a rubberized side. I think this side was the rubberized. You can actually see the rubber here.
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing.
Okay, so
whichever way it fits, it probably only goes on one way. So you know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. That makes sense. So this goes. You know, make sure you line up your gasket because
so
it can't go the other way. Duh.
Yeah.
It only goes on one way, guys. Duh. But this goes down here. Before we do all of that, we have a few things that we have to put back together. First thing is going to be putting this seal in, which it goes in kind of backwards to what you would think. This one here. It's this part number here. And it goes down in this hole.
Put a little grease on it?
Yeah, I'll probably put a little grease around the outside here.
The outside, yep.
It already has grease on the inside here.
Oh, it does good. That's nothing like their genuine seals.
Yeah.
See?
So there's already a little bit of grease pre-packed in the inside of this seal, but I do recommend putting just a little bit to put on the outside. You don't have to go crazy.
Yeah, and you know, that's something that people don't realize, that seals need to be lubricated in the trough that they're sealing.
Yes, so if
in the shaft part.
Right.
And putting it on the outside just helps you put it back in.
Correct.
You know. But a lot of seals, aftermarket seals, don't come lubed.
Right.
You
Yeah.
put it in there dry, and
they tear
you have
up.
a worse leak than when you start. Good. Now it's in there. I feel
It's
it.
happy now. Yeah, so guys, it's sunk just below the surface here. So, because you don't want this to collide with anything in there. But they do give you a little bit of up and down, you know, to make sure that you get it right. Now, I think next is going to be the oddball. So, that's this guy here. You guys can see there's like a rubber here. And then there's also a seal down inside as well. Now, the thing I don't know about, is this maybe the do-all socket? Yes, it is.
Yeah, I want to put a little grease around that.
This is a 1-inch socket, and it looks to fit perfectly here. You do not want to drive on that spring, or you will have some issues.
Grease. That fits right a bit on the outside. Ooh.
Yeah, one socket. Yeah, so that worked out good, guys. That's again, look.
Yeah,
See
and
how
this
that
has got
moves?
a rubber seal inside here,
There's a
too.
rubber seal in here to seal against the shaft.
I greased this shaft.
Yes, so we're going to
You can
change
push
that.
This O-ring. We're going to leave the old one here.
I don't think that I have the right seal for this guy right here, but it was not leaking. This one right here wasn't leaking either, but I have that O-ring for sure. I'm going to replace that one. You guys see we greased the shaft on here just a little bit. Basically, you guys want to, you know, can't hurt to grease the shaft a little bit. This goes this direction. I'm hoping that this just pushes on. We'll see.
Okay, so there's, you got to line up that too when you start getting down there. Good.
All right, now this is starting to go in here. So we're gonna have to put this on something. I think we need to like kind of gently knock that guy down.
Okay, but see, oh, is that another seal here?
There's another seal there.
So, you know, with that little space that I seen in here, look, when we push this down, oh, okay, that's on going on the shaft now, yeah. A little bit bigger. Let me get yours a little bit bigger.
Okay, and then I'm gonna put this on something like this. You guys don't want to hammer directly on the shaft. You could probably knock everything back out as well. Okay, so everything looks like it's lined up. I'm gonna put these bolts in there just to keep
Perfect,
us.
that's a great idea.
Hopefully this can help all the sad.
Well, this seal part here, now we'll know that, yes, it's gonna take a little oomph, or
Yeah, you guys can watch us screw it up. It'll be great.
I'm not gonna screw it up.
Go like this.
Yeah, but let's, can we try tightening down these just a little bit more and see if it starts pulling it?
I don't think it will. I think it's going to try to separate the seal.
Yeah, now look. See, that'll pull it down.
I wonder if that's what preloads it.
I don't know. See,
Like-
that's.
Again, we're guessing,
see,
guys.
That's,
This
look,
is-
see, this pushes down on
I
there.
think that needs to go a little bit more to where it would be flush, right? Because the back of the impeller has a metal going through it, and that would want to seat against the bottom of the shaft, right?
Yeah, and so how much more you got?
A little bit more.
Okay, then that's how we, yeah, that's a good way to figure it.
It seems like it's
Yeah,
all the way
that's it.
down.
And this has a little bit of a...
Like a spot where it like goes on, huh?
That looks good. Because you wouldn't want it any lower, it would rub.
I don't think that it... I'm gonna try to hit it one more time just to see. Because that should be pretty tight there.
Now, are you gonna put something on here? Like our right stuff or something?
Like a dab of right stuff on there?
Yeah, we don't want that thing coming off. Try tightening it down first, okay? And then we'll pull it off and we'll see if it did went any further.
Right.
With the air. Here's the air gun. This seal was on the
water pipe.
water pipe. Okay, good. So left-hand thread.
Left-hand thread, so that means you guys are loosening this. So you're going...
Turn it to the left.
Ready?
Yep. Good. That's good. That's all it needs. Still turning?
Seems like it still turns okay.
Feels great. Oh, that's good. So now I want you to take it off, and we're going to put a little Loctite on there. Oops, wait a minute. Let me get these. I'm going to cut my finger. Ready? Yeah, see, that was tight. So let's just put a little bit of our right stuff on there. It didn't change, but you had it home. It was home.
You think so? I don't know why I'm second guessing it. Probably because I just have no idea how this thing works.
No, I think it's home. Because you hear how solid that is? Metal against metal.
About it.
Okay.
Tighten these up a little bit. So,
Good. Still turn good? Good.
seems to.
You want to put this on there? Not really. Okay, now the gasket.
Now one side has like a silicone on it.
I know, but it only fits one way, right?
Yep. So I'll just glue the other side, right?
Yeah. And we don't even really have to. Being that you have that, then you don't have to. That's your bead all the way around.
Yeah, and this side's nice and clean. So.
Good, bud. There's one of those.
All right. I'm gonna clean this up, and
We just
basically just gonna wipe it down with some brake clean. All of this leak was actually from the cam seals.
Definitely had a problem there, and they schmoed it.
Or they thought that was the problem. And
Or they thought that was the problem. That's true. You're right.
Got a little grease for this O-ring. Really for both of them, honestly. Having a little grease on the pipe won't hurt, obviously, guys, because, yeah. You guys saw how hard it was to get this thing out. So this is a really tight fit.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, see the difference? Yeah. That's in, bud.
That's us. That's it. So that is rebuilding the water side of this pump. All right, guys, I really hope that this walkthrough of, you know, basically resealing the water pump side of a hydro pump was helpful for you guys. Share it. Consider following the channel if you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments if you found it helpful, and I can do more videos like this. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll hopefully see you guys soon. Bye.